Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the November 6th, 2023 meeting of the Litchfield Capital Improvement Committee with welcome stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I guess we can go around the room. Jay, I'll start with you.
Jamin Carra, NRPC.
Hi, good evening. Andrew Cutter, representing the school board this evening.
Carrie Douglas, Budget Committee Rep.
Michael Croto, Planning Board.
Marion Colby, Citizens Rep.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectmen's Rep.
Kim Kleiner, Town Administrator.
Doug Totten, BA for the school district.
Okay, welcome everybody. The first item on the agenda this evening is public input. Seeing nobody here in the audience, I will open public input and close public input.
Very efficient.
Yeah. The approval of the October 16th, 2023 minutes. Did anybody have an opportunity to look at those and have any questions or issues?
Questions or issues from my side? I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Cutter. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Ms. Colby. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the November 2nd, 2023 minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Okay, motion passes 3-0-1. Oh, and I should mention, Mr. Stone is not here this evening. He is absent this evening. He won't be able to make the meeting, so. Okay. I guess we'll go right into updates. I'll start with you, Kim. Does anything from updates from the town or anything that...
The only update that we have is that we had discussed at one point, having some type of entry on the plan for stormwater. So we've engaged New Hampshire DES, and we will be working with their financial advisor and putting together a plan. If you happen to notice, last month we had a level of service workshop that we put together here at the town, and this is one of the things that came out of that workshop. So we will be developing a plan, and we should have it for your session next year. A comparison between what it will cost if we keep things in-house and what it will cost if we work strictly with contractors, equipment needs, things of that sort. So New Hampshire DES, thank you to them. They are giving us use of their financial analyst.
Okay, very good.
So is that an item to add to the plan for next year at this
It
point?
will be for next year. But
Okay, thank you. Mr. Totten, do you have anything for the school?
Yeah, so at the last CIP, the committee asked for school's feedback in regards to combining four of the projects. So instead of having different years where different amounts of money are being asked for the CIP in a warrant article, what their thoughts were on combining the LMS pavement, parking lot and access road with the CHS energy efficiency, more like CHS HVAC replacement of some of the mechanicals there, LMS gym floor replacement, and LMS fields. So after going to the facilities committee for the school as well as the school board, they both voted in favor of combining those four projects to one with a mini bond of 5 or so years. So that's been updated by Jay on the plan, so that evened out the amount being asked of the taxpayers over 5 years.
Okay. Mr. Cutter, is there anything you want to add to that, or representative of the school board?
Mr. Totten covered it nicely.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay. Anybody have anything else? Okay. We'll go right to letter E, review and finalization capital improvement plan 2024-29 update from October 16th. Jay, did you want to update us on that?
Yes, I have sort of paper copies if anybody prefers paper. Actually, I say paper. Somebody left the card stock in the copy machine, so it's thick.
Really thick. That's nice.
So a few updates. So obviously, if you just heard, if you were listening to that last
Let's see.
numerical conversation, I guess I'll say, so the one update you'll see is that for, as you're looking at your spreadsheet, when you look at 2025 for the new school, that figure should be 2,128,750, bringing the total for municipal and school district for 2025 to 3,505,083. I'll give you those numbers again. For the new school for 2025, the total should be 2,128,750. And total municipal and school is $3,505,083. And obviously, the big change we just spoke of was that we combined the four projects, as you can see, with a level payment of $395,000 in each year. And that actually really does a very nice job of leveling out, capital costs for school and municipal for each year. Obviously, 2024 is a low year with $1,270,000.
Million.
No, $1,270,000. But then we jump up in 2025 to 3.5 million, then it's 3.6, then it's 3.2, then it's 3.1, then it's 3.1. So that's really, quite level. Other changes, I think, came directly out of the meeting, as most people probably recall. We did add in the library improvements just as a lump sum, $25,000 in 2024. And, we made the changes that were discussed in the highway department. Otherwise, it's really pretty, I think, consistent with what everybody should anticipate. The one thing I think we were still, maybe there's more things that are kind of outstanding on folks' minds, but one thing I think we have not yet addressed is the water improvements. And is that, are we going to put a number in for that or not? And I think the thinking was, Kim, since you weren't here, that we were going to wait to talk about that further.
We're still waiting for the study, right?
Yeah, and I'm probably forgetting something that we talked about that we changed, and obviously we went through, we changed all the priorities, so the priorities should reflect what were discussed at the last meeting.
So, question if I may.
Yes.
I'm gonna send this back over to Mr. Totten, if I may. So year one is 2 million, in 2025, 2,128,750. Why does it then go down about 48,000 in years 2026 and beyond? Should it be the same number, or are we anticipating a higher number that first year?
We're anticipating a higher number that first year, and it actually will go slightly down each year after that. So where it's at 2,075,150, the next year will be 2,074,856. So it's pretty close to that number. So they run things off of a level debt, level principal, level interest type of payments. So to kind of level it out, we went with what we have on here. Doesn't mean that's what we have to go with, is a level debt payment.
So the numbers in here are accurate. We don't.
Numbers in here are inaccurate, and you're just paying more interest that first year than other years as well.
Thank you.
That's it.
Does anybody have anything they want to?
I mean, so the intention for tonight is to review this one final time.
This
right?
is sort of the, final look over.
And then it gets presented to the planning board on the 21st.
It will, if everybody is in agreement with this, it would go, we vote to approve it, then it would go to the planning board for the public meeting.
Okay, and then over to the Board of Selectmen on the 27th. So I guess I'm very much interested in this committee's thoughts. If the school, in the new school specifically, is still the highest rating project that this committee thinks is critically important.
Well, I certainly think we've discussed it at length, and it's certainly something that's on the radar. So, I mean, I would feel that it is, but I'm not the committee, so if you guys have any comments you want to make about that?
Well, the police department's also high, right? They run a
Police
room.
department is up there, yes, it is, they really
So police and schools.
urgent. Yeah, we changed that.
I don't have a legend for these statuses here, but I know you went over them last week according to the meeting, so. We have a U here, right? Assessment, what's the legend mean?
Is it necessary to put one against the other?
You is
Like,
urgent.
could they
Yeah,
not
urgent's
both
fine. No,
be
you can
urgent
more than
and
one,
not have
right?
To say, but I think this one over the other. And you each have, like, the town is its department, the school is its department, each department's gonna have their priority.
Right.
Do we really wanna be saying, no, but the school is more important than the town? No, the town's more important than the school.
I'm
They're
just
each
going on
more
past
important.
precedent,
No,
right?
they're just important, they're in their own rights, and each one will have their own supporters. So, but I don't think that saying one's important detracts from the fact that the other is also important.
I know last year it was a very common message, and I wasn't on the board last year, right? But
Yeah.
last year it was a very common message that the Capital Improvement Committee strongly felt that the school was the highest priority rating across the capital improvement plan.
I think we.
What I'm looking to do is based upon all of the other projects that we heard, are we reaffirming that? Or are we saying there's other pressing needs at this point?
I recall the conversation slightly different, where at least my opinion was, the school clearly believes that's theirs. That is their capital improvement plan. We weren't touching it. So I don't know that we actually went, no, but the town, no, but the school. So I think that we said, yes, the school clearly believes that this is their number one priority, and we're not, the school is allowed to say that. So there, we left it. That was how I remember
I
walking.
agree with Carrie.
So it's all right if we have two that are urgent.
Yeah.
The police
Give more than
department from
two,
the
yeah.
town and the schools from the school side. They're both urgent.
We also, is the replacement of town hall
Well,
floor.
But that, I mean, yeah, it is.
It is urgent.
Certainly, I think I think urgent for the police department is in order. Given given the space issues, I think that is an absolutely critical need in terms of safety and the town.
And also their management, records management is urgent because the state's not gonna support the system that they currently have. So I see that as a top
I
priority.
mean,
Right.
Compliance.
for perspective, we've literally doubled the size of the police department and have given them no additional space, quite frankly. So from a space needs, I think we really need to consider, they're literally,
And our town is continuing to expand.
I'm not
New
saying,
developments that they're gonna have to support. And
so I'm not,
Right.
so is that for which one? For the, for the police department?
just the
Absolutely.
police in general.
Yeah, the police, I mean, but even just from a pure manpower, or person power, whatever we wanna call it, whatever, they have more people on staff than they did when I moved to town, and we have done nothing to add to the physical ability, and I do frankly worry about their, crime scene, how we have not had issues with any, evidence management, because it is tight in there. It is absolutely a challenge to be in there, so I think, to me, at least on the town side, that is one of the top ones. If I were to be able to vote, that's, town side would be one of my top votes.
So, if I may, I think that certainly the 30,000 for the police facility assessment is important, because we can't properly plan
Right.
for the police station until we have that. The other thing is, with Talent Hall, we need some type of assessment to know how we're going to proceed with that, because we lost a considerable grant opportunity this past spring. And if that comes around again, we want to be prepared, so that we can take the burden off of the taxpayers.
Do we have any money set aside for an assessment on that? I don't see anything in here for that, though. I agree, we want to at least get to the point where if a grant opportunity came around, we'd be ready for it, but I don't see anything on this list that would put us in that position.
Right.
So I think they actually asked for the 200,000 for the floors, but
Right.
we have no idea that that is a solid number. I mean, we really don't, until those floors, until the building is assessed. I mean, right now, currently, we have a heating issue over there. We're trying to get that assessed. We have no idea what is wrong with it,
That's a newer system, too.
and it is. It was 2016.
So would it be prudent then to instead of, like, we have the floor in 2025, but we have a vote coming in 2024 to have money towards an actual assessment? Like,
We don't, so that's why I'm really concerned with taking these numbers and saying, well, in 2025, we're gonna replace a floor. We don't know that that's a solid number.
right,
We need something to,
Doesn't this spreadsheet reflect what the departments came forward and asked for?
it does.
So they didn't ask for an assessment, so we're not considering it. So maybe they need to be coached on what they're, I mean, before we do meet again, or before this gets approved, maybe they need to reappear, I
or
don't know.
perhaps as part of the talent floor replacement, we could have somebody like, as we rip it up, well, our understructure or whatever is, maybe it can be worked into it in some way?
I think you can work it into the 200,000. It's just that's out in 2025.
Mhm.
So it's just another year that we're going
Yep.
on a guesstimate.
Right.
How much would you estimate the assessment, what, for town hall would cost? Do you think?
That's hard to say, because do we actually know what the town wants out of that building, right? So it's one conversation if you want the existing services that it's offering today. It's another conversation if you're looking at it as more of a community center, which I think is,
But could
been
we have just
not
somebody
approved.
come in and just say, this is where we are right now? Like, I mean, the building was built by volunteers many decades ago. So if we had somebody who came in and said, look, based on what we have right now, your floors are a mess, there's moisture under under the thing, your heating's an issue, like, this is what you have, this is where you're starting. Like, just an analysis of where we even are before we determine where we're gonna go. Can we just have like a systems analysis? We had people walk through the school several years ago who just looked through and said, okay, this is where we are. These are the problems you're gonna be facing in the next 5 to 10 years. Can we do something like that with this building?
I think we can. I think we might be able to do that, just by having a couple
Yeah, just,
engineers and a local architect.
right,
that
just
we
have a
know
quick look, say, hey,
look at it.
just, this is where is it even worth investing the 200 grand in the floor? Would that be enough, the 200 grand, to get us where we need to be? Like, where are we even starting from?
Why don't we work with the commission on that?
I like,
Getting someone in there, and then
just to do a needs assessment.
keep the 200,000 on the floor, and hopefully we can come back to you next year with a more solid number.
Right. 'Cause I think that's why.
We have I know a couple contractors
research.
that
Yeah, they should be,
replaced floors for, in my past municipality.
yeah.
We replaced them a lot.
Yeah, if you don't mind reaching out to your contacts, at least we'd
Sure.
have an idea of what we're
It's
working
listed as
with.
urgent,
The community center?
The floor.
the floor.
The floors, but the community center was put it as research for exactly those reasons.
Right.
Because maybe we'll find out the building's in better shape than we expected structurally.
So
That
we
would be a pleasant
all good
surprise.
with the urgent as the
For the designation.
For the designation for the
I mean,
placement.
There's no life left in that floor, right? And there's dead spots, and a lot of people use it. So,
All right. We talked about the library, that's research, that's stuff.
May I ask
They
how the
doing work?
estimated, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't know, I drove by there this weekend.
doesn't look like
they-
moving.
They looked like they were putting up a pavilion?
Yeah,
Yes.
they are,
Oh, they
yeah.
are
They're
doing
putting
that.
up the
Okay.
pavilion.
Been in that status for a
That's
while.
by impact fees.
Got it, okay.
How was the estimated tax rate impact calculated?
It was
Painfully.
calculated based on the most recent equalized assessed valuation.
Okay. I wanted to confirm that that was the latest and greatest numbers. And so for 2025, is that automatically updated in your file, what the tax rate impact is?
Should be over
Yes.
two.
It's probably 220 something.
For 2025?
Yes.
It's 233.
233.
To what was it?
233.
So to be clear, so just so for my understanding, looking at the bottom, so 2024 would be 0.87, so in 2025 we'd add 2.33, so it'd be now 3.1, whatever.
No, it's not additive.
Okay, it's not additive?
Right.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, by the end, man, that's gonna really hurt. Not that 233 isn't painful.
No, what this is saying is in years 2025 and forward, it's pretty consistent
Yes.
and actually going down.
Trends down.
Yeah, but that's.
26 is your
before-
peak, and then it trends down.
Before we find out cars increasing value and all the other stuff, so it's,
Well, we always add more projects.
all right, it's not going down. You can think it's going down, it's not going down.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm fine with the plan as presented and as reviewed by the committee. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Cutter. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Colby will second. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion to approve the capital improvement plan 2024 to 2029, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 400. Thank you. Great.
God, hasn't even changed, has it?
We have another public input, but again, I don't see anybody here this evening, but I will open it up to public input, and I will close public input. Is there any other business this evening?
Mr. Chairman, are you going to need some support or assistance putting together a presentation, or how would you like to
Yes, so-
present this to?
Good question. So, yeah, I think we're, if we could maybe work on putting together a PowerPoint presentation, so that we can have that ready for the planning board meeting on the 21st of November. That would be very helpful. I know in the past, Andrew, you've done the spreadsheets, or some of them. Would you be interested in, we're helping out on that?
Happy to help. I don't have last year's template,
Okay.
so if I could get that template.
I can send it to you.
I think Jay has it, and I think I do have it too, but yeah, definitely we'll send
Yeah,
that
send it
to you.
over to me, and I'll update the slides with the numbers and circulate it out.
That's great. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. And yes, we will be having our public meeting on November 21st. And then we will be presenting to the Board of Selectmen November 27th. And I will be, obviously be there. Andrew, did you want to come, or does anybody,
I won't be available.
you won't be
Be with
available?
you in spirit.
I'll have to look at the calendar on the 21st and let you
Okay.
know.
That's fine. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can. That's fine.
Did Peter went with you
It
last
is,
year too, right?
Yeah,
It's
Pete
a
was here
busy
last
night.
year.
It's a busy night
Very busy night.
here. It's busy.
All right, well, we'll
Thanks,
be
Ann.
ready for that. And then that goes into the hands of the Board of Selectmen. And we can go from there. God willing.
Going,
We are ahead of the game.
we are.
We are.
Two days ahead of where we are last year? No, we're a full month ahead. It was December 6th.
Yeah,
Was the public.
Go team.
yeah, we
Well
did it.
done.
So, thank you, everybody,
I do.
for all of your work. Well, I don't have anything else unless anybody else does. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Ms. Colby has a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cutter. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstain, motion passes 4-0. Thank you for joining us this evening. Public hearing for this will be on November 21st at the planning board meeting. Have a good evening.